Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another one of Dave's Faves. I think we're up to number 6. Essential discs for me that I would never, ever, 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 ever want to be without because they are so gorgeous and fabulous and satisfying and absolutely miraculous. And today, the disc of choice is this one. Sir John Barbirolli conducts English string music. Now, some people feel, for reasons I have never understood, that I do not like Barbirolli. That isn't true at all. I like the good Barbirolli. The problem with Barbirolli is that he was incredibly inconsistent. And so we need to be selective. And if you are going to be selective, like I'm going to be selective, this disc might be the first choice among all of his recordings. There are quite a few others. He was really a very fine conductor when he was on. It's just that you could never predict when he would be and when he wouldn't be. But this, oh boy, is this hot stuff. And it's a fabulous collection, as an album, because it gives you the early 20th century English string sort of repertoire in a nutshell. You get, let us think, Elgar, the introduction and Allegro with the Allegro string quartet, and the Elgar Serenade for strings, and then the Elegy and Sospiri, two little tchotchkes, little sort of salon pieces that are quite pretty and sentimental. And then you get the Vaughan Williams Fantasia on green sleeves and the Fantasia on a theme by Thomas Talus. Oh yeah, the Talus Fantasia, possibly the most glorious piece of music ever written for strings. Oh, it's just so amazing. And this performance is right up there with the tippy top ones. There are a half a dozen or so, 4, 5, 6 that are just amazing. One of them is Silvestri, one of them is Metropolis, which is really pretty hot, and Ormandy, oh baby, and this one. They're all up there among the supreme efforts in that repertoire. But it's true of all of this too. The Elgar stuff. Let's do it and take this in order, aside from like the little tiny thingies. The Elgar Serenade is beloved by Elgarians. I've never been a fan of it because I just find it to be rather pale and sort of soft-edged and droopy and not terribly interesting. But this performance makes me perk up my ears and listen, just because it's so sincerely felt, and it has this sort of atmosphere of suffused passion. It's there. So most performances, it's just not there. But here it's there, even if it's kept under the surface. Now, as far as the introduction in Allegro goes, I think that's one of Elgar's great masterpieces. I really do. It's an indefinable work, so it doesn't get the attention that it really deserves. It's a single movement. It's 13, 14 minutes long for string orchestra and solo string quartet, rather like the Talus Fantasia, in fact. And it is absolutely glorious. It's formally shapely and masterful. It's as great a thing as Elgar ever wrote, but I've never seen a live performance of it. I've never even seen it programmed. I don't get it. I really don't. It's just marvelous. It would make a fabulous concert opener. So, and this performance is really stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It's Barbirolli at his spontaneous best, as he is in the Talus Fantasia. Oh my goodness, he's just oozing passion. But the oozing is not dripping. You know what I mean? He's oozing, but it's not dripping all over the place. He's not making a mess because the oozing is all focused inwardly. He's inwardly oozing, and the music is just exploding with spontaneous emotional drive. Oh my God, it's wonderful. And the sonics were fabulous too. Absolutely fabulous. The Greensleeves Fantasia, well, that's a pretty little piece for strings and harp and a flute or something like that. And it always sounds fine. I don't know what you would have to do to ruin the Greensleeves Fantasia. Probably be Roger Norrington and play it without vibrato. That would probably kill it. But it's a glorious work. And this whole disc is just, how could we live without it? That's the bottom line. It belongs in every serious collection, not just mine. And when this came out on CD, I was so happy. I was just the happiest camper on the block because it's a collection. It's two composers, it's several works, perfectly put together. Absolutely perfectly put together. I mean, a couple of the things on here weren't on the original disc. They've been added for the CD, and it just rounds things out in such a shapely way. And, it's a disc that should never, ever, ever have been allowed to go out of print, never be out of print, probably is out of print. I don't know, but you can get all these performances. They are going to be available until universal entropy destroys the universe and protons finally decay. I mean, that's the imperishability of this particular disc. So Sir John Barbirolli, the disc is called, well, it's just called Elgar and Vaughan Williams. It was originally called English String Music, I think back in the day on the original EMI or Angel Records. Remember Angel Records? So, but here it is, Elgar and Vaughan Williams, music for strings. Do not miss it. I beg you not to miss it. It is just unbelievable. And I know a lot of you have it already, so this will not come as news to you. So keep on listening, folks. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of Dave's Faves, the basics of my personal record collection, or my top 4,000 or 5,000 CDs in a nutshell, however we do it. As long as we're listening, take care.